Okay, let's get into it. Churchill Downs, Kentucky Derby this Saturday. Love it. Yeah. It's so fun to watch.
It is.
And it's like it's really funny. There's such a buildup to a short window of entertainment. But it's really exciting. And there are some interesting storylines this year that we're looking at, and we both have gone through and made a couple picks who we're looking at, who we like. I think we both put in our trifecta picks right now. We've boxed them.
Is it trifecta or trifecta?
No, trifecta. Just trifecta. It's 100% a trifecta. Trifecta.
It's the way it rolls off the end of the tongue at the end.
Yeah. So for me, some of the key storylines to look out for, one of them is first and foremost, the favorite. Epicenter is the name of the horse. So Epicenter is trained by a gentleman named Steve Asmussen, who is maybe the winningest trainer in thoroughbred racing, but has never won a Kentucky Derby. Ooh. This might be his best chance at winning a Kentucky Derby with this particular horse. And they are favored at 7-2. So that's one of the unique storylines to watch out for. But the most intriguing storyline for me, and you may recall, and if you tuned in last year and watched
last year.
Yeah. And if you watched our podcast last year with around the Kentucky Derby, we covered a gentleman by the name of Bob Baffert.
Bobby B. Yes.
B. You remember, known for the blue sunglasses, the look, the whole bit. Trained a horse by the name of Medina Spirit, who ends up winning the Kentucky Derby last year.
Yeah.
And ultimately ends up getting DQ'd days later, I believe it is, for doping.
Oof.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Doping, not so much in the sense of he was pumping the horse full of steroids. I think it was an anti-inflammatory or something like that he was injecting the horse with. So if we continue down the narrative of this story, Bob Baffert ends up getting suspended. Medina Spirit, God rest its soul, passes away in December, suddenly dies. Now there's all these questions surrounding Bob Baffert and the way that he's medicating horses and what's going on. And Bobby, what's the deal here? So Bobby is suspended. And one of the more winningest trainers, if I can say, also in thoroughbred racing, just like Steve, whatever his name was, Asmussen. I probably butchered that name too, but whatever.
But sorry, I don't think he's going to listen to this one.
Yeah, it's okay. Steve's not. Steve, if you're listening, I apologize to you.
And if his PR team reaches out, we're happy to have him on the podcast. If you'd like, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your win a bit.
We're always welcome. Just like we said, we were welcome to have Shaquille O'Neal on the podcast when he said that the Raptors were going to get swept, and they didn't. Yes, they lost.
So we got Bobby Baffert on here, just full glasses the whole bit. Bobby, come on. Come on the podcast.
Bobby, give us our take. Tell us about the two horses that you have your fingers all over in this year's Kentucky Derby, because that to me is
still connected to these horses.
So here's the story. So there's two horses in the race right now that he trained, I believe, and have now he is suspended, but are now being trained by a man named Tim Yakteen. I probably butchered this too, but that's how I think it is. Tim Yakteen. Tim Yakteen, I think is his name. So Tim Yakteen, it was the assistant trainer, I believe, for Bobby Baffert. So there's two horses, Messier and Taba. Messier is an 8-1 favorite sitting in the 6th post position, and Taba is a 12-1 favorite. I shouldn't say favorite, 12-1 odds, sitting in the 12th post position. Both trained by the assistant trainer for Bob Baffert.
You know what this means, right?
Mm.
Bobby B is Dr. Claw. He's behind the wheel still. Full cat. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. He's still pulling the strings. I love this guy. This is 100%. What horse racing needs. Horse racing needs a bad guy. Bobby. Love it. Still pulling the strings from behind the curtain.
Bad Bobby.
100%. I'm betting one of these horses. I'm betting both of them.
Are you kidding me? I'm betting both of these horses.
Bobby B just sitting at home. Like, is he allowed at the Derby?
I don't even think he's allowed on the grounds. I don't know. I actually don't know how that from works.
The grounds too, right?
Yeah, I imagine he's probably not allowed to be there. Yes, exactly. He's sitting there, just pulling the strings from behind, just telling Tim Yakteen everything he needs to do to get these horses over the line here. So
it's amazing.
Those are two. I love
these storylines
I'm looking at. Yeah,
this is. You know what? Horse racing needs one of those like F1 Netflix series.
Ooh, I like it.
You know, like get behind the scenes. Question for you and for our listeners. Are the horses having fun? Do you think, Luke Boone, that the horses are enjoying themselves in this race? Yes or no? Are they conscious enough to be like, yeah?
First of all, I think Jerry Seinfeld does a great bit on this, on horse racing. It's so good.
Oat bag.
I get my oat bag now. It's so good.
But what's that's the real question. Yes or no? Comment below.
Okay.
Are the horses having fun?
No. There's no way the horse is having. Think about this. Let's think about the process. First of all, you're going to get paraded into a stadium full of yelling people. You're probably just like, what is all of this? Then you're going to get shoved into a little claustrophobic gate, right? Someone's jumping on your back, right? And then all of a sudden, the gate door is going to open up and you're just going to get kicked and whipped around this track as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah.
While racing against all these other horses in this crowded space where you could trip and break a leg or die for that matter. You're going to race all the way around this track. And as Seinfeld comments on it, they're going to get to the end of the race and be like, we were just here. We started. What was the point of that?
We got to find that bit and play that with it. It is such a great bit.
But how could it possibly be fun for them?
Well, I think you've assumed one thing here. You've painted all horses with one brush, right? And, you don't know that there's, every horse is a little different and different genes. And, maybe some people like to be paraded around and, into the spotlight, little pep in the step, little shoulders pumping. I think there's something there. You probably have some horses that maybe do enjoy it, but you're right. The kicking and whipping, that's really not terrible. That cool.
Yeah, the kicking and the whipping would be awful.
Like just to make him go faster. Like let him do it on its own if he wants to do it.
Does he want?
Maybe they need to run without a person on the back. That's the true test of who's the fastest.
I don't know that they would know how to do that though.
You train.
It's not like greyhound racing where they put the little rabbit on the remote thing and it runs around.
So you put a little carrot on the thing and you run it around and they try it.
That's what you put an oat bag on it,
right?
Go get it. Go get
that. So anyway, good take. I would love to know. I think everybody would agree that most likely the horses are not having a good time.
Yeah, but you do bring up a fair point because there is, and that's something that they do call out that you need to look for is certain horses have certain traits, and there are horses that can be a bit claustrophobic. So getting into the gate is stressful for them. So what that means is if you have a horse that gets stressed out going into the post, right? Like into the gate there, you ideally don't want to be in 1, 2, 3, 4 post position because you're going in first and you got to wait for all 20. So now you got your claustrophobic horse and they're just having an anxiety attack, in that post position, waiting for the gate to open so it can get out of there. Right. So there are some significant traits to look out for. Didn't we cover this too in the last podcast about when they do the parading around? you look for confident horses.
Yeah.
Like
there's
not
that's
the
a
ones
big
that are
insider,
like
look them in the eye
like,
type thing.
Yeah. The ones that are like parading around and look really good.
Speaking of different traits, you had a really good point we talked about around certain things at Churchill Downs that historically have come through, or should I say haven't come through.
Yeah. So
what were some of those things about that the horses,
in the spirit of get better at betting and providing our listeners with a couple of tips and things to watch out for?
When we can tie the podcast name in.
Yeah, it's good to do that. Yeah. Shameless plug, just a shameless plug. So one of the things to note is you want to try to find those horses that are going to jump out and be sort of front of the pack. Maybe not in the lead, but are going to be front of the pack. Those deep closers have not won the Kentucky Derby. The last deep closer, I guess, to win the Kentucky Derby was in 2013 when Orb did it, and he came all the way back from 17th, I think it was. Now, the challenge with that is he won that on a DQ. So he came all the way back from 17th. He finished second technically, and it was Maximum Security who actually won. And Maximum Security was in the lead through the last, what do they call it? A furlong? Furlough? Furlong? I think it's a furlong.
Furlong?
Yeah. Well-educated horse.
Furlong. Yeah, we definitely need Bobby B on here to straighten this out.
Yes. At the end of the day, Maximum Security won because they were up front. So you're really kind of looking for a horse that can be in the front of that pack, keep the pace, and one that can continue to maintain that pace through the end of the race. So that's one of the things to look out for. The one other stat that I pulled also in regards to Bobby Baffert's horses, now we're just totally discounting Tim Yakatine as a trainer and saying it's Bobby Baffert pulling the strings behind. Poor Tim. We're also happy to have Tim on the podcast too, if he'd like to come. The one thing to note about the Messier horse and the Tabia horse is that they have the highest buyer speed figure. So that buyer speed figure is an analytical term that's used in horse racing that measures the pace, which is based on distance, speed of the competition, and track conditions. So an important thing to look at, apparently it is a pivotal stat or a crucial stat to know at Churchill Downs with the Kentucky Derby. And those two horses, in terms of Messier and Tabia, the highest buyer speed, I think, in the field was something that I read. So key things to look at. The other thing is the post position that you gotta watch closely here. I think typically it's been like the middle post positions that have fared the best at the Kentucky Derby. It is obviously there's 20 horses in the race. What was the number I saw? And I don't have it in front of me anymore, but there was here it is, key stat to look at. The 5th post has won 10 times, which is the most. The 10th post has won 9 times, which is the second most. And then you've got a couple there with 8. You've got post 1 has won 8 times, 7 and 8 have won 8 times. And then it kind of goes from there. If you got any horses sitting kind of in that 17, 18, 19, 20, even 16, good luck to you. They've rarely.
It's such a far race for them. You're just adding miles just to get to them. It's like a couple furlongs just to get back to that.
More whipping and more kicking for those horses.
Oh, poor guys.
Yeah, poor guys. So
anyway. I will say, just doing my research this week, there was a couple horses that did jump out at me. First of all, the story of Messier.
Yeah. Let's tell that one.
Yeah, a little bit. So the way it goes, I believe it's a connection to Mark Messier. Ironically, his nickname was the Moose, though. So like a little, wrong animal. Don't think you're a riding moose yet, but no. That's where I'm leaning definitely towards Messier. Epicenter is obviously the favorite there. And if we're building out trifectas, sorry. I'm going to pair Messier and Epicenter with this horse that's jumping out at me.
Crown Pride.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Crown Pride, and
which is the horse from Japan.
Yeah, it's coming, or I think it's from the UAE. Anyway, this is the owner and trainer's first time entering the Derby, and you know me, I like statement time. I think they're about to make a statement. The horses had only 3 races, won 3 of them. The jockey himself is, legendary overseas, so it's statement time. So watch out. Crown Pride.
So I'm with you on Epicenter and Messier. I've got both of those, but like I said, I'm betting on both of the bad Bobby Baffert horses. Bad Bobby B. I've got Taba, Messier, and Epicenter. The other one to really watch for is Zandon. Yeah, the only thing I don't like, so Zandon is the second favorite there at 3-1. The only thing that makes me nervous about Zandon is he is one of those what would you call that? Stalker
closer.
Deep closer. So he comes from way behind. Not to say that it's not doable, but in a 20 horse race, if you get stuck in the back there, you're in trouble. That's why it's really important to get out ahead early here. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun to watch on Saturday. It's going to be interesting to see how the trifectas fare for us, and to see if Bobby Baffert is sitting at home in his blue sunglasses, just laughing to himself like a diabolical laugh. Yeah.
Oh man.
Thanks very much for listening, guys. If you like what you hear and you want to learn a little bit more about how to get better at betting, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, comment. We want to hear from you.